Good evening. Too Much Mouth reporting with tonight's news. Pretty Little Thing has rebranded and it's so drastic that the streets are talking, and not in a good way. If you want to know more, let's go. When I tell you, not a serious bone in my body. Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Please follow me on Instagram. You already know what's going on. If not, then follow me on Instagram so you can know what is going on. But as you can see by the title, I wanted to actually make a video talking about Pretty Little Thing's rebrand. If you guys have not seen it, have not heard about it, Pretty Little Thing, the popular clothing brand, just popped up with a rebrand 2 or 3 days ago. And you know, I got texts talking about it, and I'm thinking like, oh, you know, maybe like y'all are just dragging it. But when I opened up that website and I saw what Pretty Little Thing looks like, I said, now who was this? You know, at the family gathering, you done lost a little bit of weight. Now they're acting like they've never seen you before. That's very much so what it was giving. Now, I did mention this. Actually, I think I mentioned it on Instagram, but you know, it was the whole new year, new me type thing. I deleted Fashion Nova, Pretty Little Thing, apps like that off my phone. Actually, I deleted Fashion Nova for a different reason. But like in general, I was just kind of like, I'm kind of good on like sites like this, right? So I hadn't been on the website in months at this point. And when you go to Pretty Little Thing's website now, this is what it looks like. You would have thought you were pulling up the New York Times. Y'all know before, Pretty Little Thing was pink, unicorn, very girly, very youthful, right? So you see what it looks like now. Also to point out, they have it seems changed the models that they're using. The models now definitely give more Zara, H&M, and the overall aesthetic of the brand. Here are the words that I've seen people use: modest, classy, quiet luxury. I'm not sure if it's the brand that described themselves that way or if it's people who are describing it that way, but quiet luxury is something that people are using to describe the rebrand. Like I said before, they were pink, very colorful, patterns all over the place, and now the clothes are pretty much neutral colors. And the items themselves are more so, you know, the basics. They are just regular long dresses, button-down shirts, blazers, pants, like trouser type pants, skirts, stuff like that. So I asked people, you know, like, what are your thoughts on the rebrand? And I've seen it going both ways. So I want to do a video talking about the rebrand and some of the reactions that I've seen. Now, what do I think of the rebrand? Definitely drastic. You know, especially if you've known, excuse me, if you've known Pretty Little Thing for years now, for it to be that drastic. Like, I know brands that have rebranded, right? Y'all know like Elf, I don't know who got into the room, but Elf did a 180, and you know Elf for what it is today, right? Because y'all remember like back in the day, Elf is definitely different from Elf today. So it is different, but they didn't do it that drastically. Coach, another brand, y'all see Coach today. Coach is a very popular brand, especially when you are looking for options that are, you know, better quality, but they are not the price ranges of the luxury brands that we all know, right? And Coach has always been that girl. They've always had good quality, but if I was in high school 2000, not too much on me. I was in high school 2008. And at that time, that was very much so a bag like you got for your Sweet 16, you know, like like juvenile-ish type thing. The Coach brand had become known as juvenile, as tacky, as cheap. I am from an area that is rather, well, you can put 2 and 2 together, but back then, people would say that you go to Macy's, stores like that, and you get those monogram Coach bags when you're fresh off the boat. So you see where we're going here with what I'm saying, with what Coach looked like just 2000. That's less than 20 years ago. I don't like the numbers. I don't like how these numbers are sounding Because what do you mean 2000? Okay, anyway. But now Coach is that trendy, popular, it girl brand. And again, Coach was able to rebrand themselves and kind of like redirect their target audience, but it was not as drastic as this Pretty Little Thing. And mind you, like the designs of Coach haven't necessarily even changed that much. It's just the way that they present themselves, marketing, stuff like that. And that's why we talk about marketing, PR on this channel a lot, right? So to see Pretty Little Thing be so drastic, I'm not gonna lie, I pulled up the website, I said, oh, okay. Now, here's a few things. I have seen people say that Pretty Little Thing is just growing with their target audience. You know, I would imagine Pretty Little Thing's target audience were probably people somewhere between 21, 25. And, you know, especially when Pretty Little Thing started years ago, people who were 21, 25 at the time, they are now going to be in their mid 30s, late 30s, early 40s. So they're growing with them. And, you know, as time goes on, as you get older, it's believed that you are going to want to start dressing a little more conservative. You'll be married by then, you'll have children. And then once that happens, you know, you're not gonna want the hoochie outfits, the club outfits, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So that is the idea that they are growing up with those people, right? Here's my thing on that take. True. Brands can grow with their audience. However, those people, their pockets also usually grow as they get older. And that's why you'll see a lot of people, once they do start getting older and they kind of phase out of the club phase and stuff like that, they don't shop at places like that in general. It's not like you just change the outfits. They gotta find the best way to say this. They phase out of fast fashion because they can afford better. That's the nicest way I can put it. Like, they will start going to things that have a little bit more better quality, will last them longer. They're not going to shop as much, so they don't need the whole, you know, $400 Shein package, because they can now afford, you know, maybe a little Louis Vuitton, maybe a little Tory Burch, stuff like that, because now they have money. So I don't know about the whole like growing with them, because if those people have grown the way that this rebrand is, they don't want the fast fashion like that in general. Like, changing it to all neutral colors isn't going to change the fact that the quality is little. And kind of piggybacking off of that, you know, following your audience, something that fashion also follows is politics, the economy. And ever since COVID literally came in and just shook everything up, and things really haven't been the same since then. The actual disease virus itself has left long-term effects on people's health, but it left a long-term effect on people's finances and people's just everyday life. Like, so many people got sick during that time. So many people lost loved ones, their own lives, but people who lost loved ones, you know, some of those people lost their breadwinner. So they had to jump into the job market, and it's probably the worst the job market's been in decades, right? People lost their jobs and haven't been able to find new ones. So people's pockets have been different since then, and it's only getting worse, especially with what we have going on right now, right? So when the economy is looking and politics is looking fashion, especially for the everyday person, starts to resemble that. You kind of see the pull away of printed clothing, colorful clothing, stuff like that, because people can't afford that. They can't afford to have to fund their wardrobe for multiple different lifestyles. They need clothes that, yeah, I can wear this to work because that's the most important place that I'm going right now. And listen, if I gotta make this work for the club, I gotta make this work for the club as well. I just don't have it to be spending frivolously to purchase, you know, hoochie outfits for the club, because I ain't gonna be in the club, because I can't afford the Don Julio. I can't afford it. So fashion brands, knowing stuff like that, they tend to start pulling back on the designs that they're releasing because they're a brand. They want to make money. So they are going to go with the, you know, the sure thing when it comes to a sale. Everybody isn't going to be able to afford to, you know, purchase the outfit that looks like it should be worn to the Cowboy Carter concert, but everyone's going to need a button down for work. Everyone's gonna need the basic black skirt. So I understand the rebrand for Pretty Little Thing in that sense. Also, I don't know if y'all have noticed, but in the last few years, a couple brands have started going this route, and some of them are just straight up saying like, yeah, I want to be like Zara's competitor. I believe it was Forever 21 who said that they are trying to rebrand so that H&M can be their competitor more than Shein being their competitor. I had no idea that Forever 21 was competing with Shein. Like, I wouldn't have put those two in the same category. I wouldn't have put Shein as a competitor for Forever 21, but apparently Forever 21 did. So Forever 21 was like, they want their competitors to be more so like H&M, and y'all know H&M was like, well, they want their competitors to be Zara. So I'm actually not surprised that Pretty Little Thing is now going this same route, because when you have the aesthetic of Zara, of JLux label, House of CB, you know what all those brands have in common? They charge more. They charge more. Change the aesthetic, make people think that, you know, it's giving quiet luxury, it's giving this, that, and the third. You know what you can do shortly after that? You can raise the prices. Because I looked at some of the prices at H&M, and again, going back to like me in high school in 2008, there ain't no regular inflation. Because what you mean stuff at H&M is $72 now. And here's the thing, everyone's talking about it being elevated, it being this, it being that. Baby, that fabric section definitely still says 100% polyester, okay? The only thing elevated is the font. It's still the same quality clothing. So that's why I be looking at some stuff and I'm like, okay, H&M, you can $100-something blazer. But mind you, H&M is a little better quality, but the Zara's, the H&M, Forever 21 saying that they want to go the route of H&M, and now Pretty Little Thing wanting to go that route of the like naked wardrobe, JLux label, stuff like that. I'm like, I need the quality to match the prices that you're about to increase to. Even Meshki, because people were pointing out that, you know, this rebrand is also kind of giving Meshki. Meshki did the same thing. Years ago, I was shopping at Meshki and stuff was like the $30-$40, somewhere around there. Meshki, if you have not been on their site recently, they are now equivalent to the Zara's, the House of CB, stuff like that, right? And mind you, even House of CB, like I remember what that was priced at like 10 years ago. And all of the brands that I just mentioned, they all vary in pricing and they vary in quality, right? They are not all the same quality. But at the end of the day, it's all fast fashion. And that kind of leads me into my next point, that it really matters how you brand yourself, because all of them are fast fashion, but they're not all looked at the same. Because even with this situation, people are saying like, oh, Pretty Little Thing is trying to brand themselves out of the fast fashion category. And I'm like, but that's not how that works. You can't categorize yourself out of fast fashion just by changing your aesthetic, because the way the clothes are made, the way that they're inspired, all of that is fast fashion. Fast fashion goes to how it's produced. So you can't brand yourself out of fast fashion, because at the end of the day, it's still being made as fast fashion. And don't be surprised if Fashion Nova follows pretty soon. Like if you see a rebrand from Fashion Nova within the year 2025, because I think it was a TikTok or maybe it was a thread or something like that I saw maybe a week or two ago, and people were like, have y'all been on Fashion Nova recently? They're starting to give very like cottage core, you know, that modest stuff like that. You look on the website right now, this is what the landing page looks like. You see who's on the landing page. So don't be surprised if Fashion Nova does the same exact thing. I'm looking at some of the new arrivals on the Fashion Nova website, and you know, starting to give more like fairy, maybe calling it Little House on the Prairie dresses. It is starting to give that vibe that I see on there. However, Fashion Nova is, for the most part, at least on the new arrivals page, still using the same models. And that leads into the other thing that I wanted to talk about in this video. As soon as I saw people talking about this Pretty Little Thing rebrand, one of the biggest things that I have seen being said is, oh yes, finally, the end of BBL fashion. And that threw me off, because at least my understanding of BBL fashion, when y'all be talking about it, is, you know, the more revealing clothes that have a whole bunch of cutouts, the type of cutouts that it just doesn't make sense for there to be cutouts in that area, the type of cutouts that make outfits look tacky, mesh, see-through, you know, when you can see the little pasties underneath if they're wearing pasties, the wrestler type outfits from Poster Girl, the brand in general of Poster Girl, people be calling BBL type fashion, right? Like when you Google BBL fashion, that is literally what comes up. And I had made a video on TikTok talking about it, and I used the pictures that I'm using right now for a very specific reason. One, those women have BBLs, right? Those women have BBLs, so I don't see the problem with using women who have BBLs to describe BBL fashion. But also, I'm using that family in general because we all know what y'all are talking about when you say BBL fashion, right? When y'all start talking about, you can't wear this, y'all are wearing this type of outfit and it looks tacky and it looks this, we know the main people that are coming to mind when y'all say stuff like this, right? But in reality, that family has inspired a lot of the fast fashion trends that y'all be seeing, and then regular everyday people start wearing it, and people who are a little bit more curvaceous and stuff like that, and then suddenly it becomes BBL fashion, tacky, this, that, and the third. The Kardashian family, whether you want to admit it or not, they have been very influential for like the last decade-ish. Not so much in the last year or two, but especially if you've been around, if you've been paying attention, you know very much so they have inspired a lot of the fashion trends amongst regular people for the last decade. They will wear things that are designer, high fashion, couture, and then fast fashion will see how much people like it on them, and then they'll go recreate the same thing. Couple of examples. Kylie Jenner wore Foray London, Black-owned brand, and shortly after that, I'm sure you started seeing outfits, dresses, shirts with this type of print on it, right? From Fashion Nova, from Pretty Little Thing, stuff like that. Also, Kylie Jenner wore this outfit, again, from a Black-owned brand. And you might remember this one because this is the one where like she didn't tag who the designer was. People were like, tag the designer, tag the designer, tag the designer. Just for y'all to not care about the designer like a week later. But again, you probably started seeing this on fast fashion sites shortly after because they saw, everyone was like, oh, they must really like this outfit if they are telling her, let us know where you got this from. But the person who's selling it is selling this for like $300, and they know the average person cannot afford that. So fast fashion goes and they make the same thing. And I don't remember who the designer was, what the dress was, so I can find the picture. All I can remember is it was some type of like black dress that Kim Kardashian had on. And when I tell you, Fashion Nova had the inspired version of it within like 24 hours, even Kim Kardashian was like, now wait a minute, like this is disrespectful to the actual designer, like being ripped off like that within 24 hours. Do y'all have someone who works around the clock to remake these outfits? And it literally got to the point where people were literally like tagging like, oh, Shein, oh, Fashion Nova, you have 24 hours to go ahead and recreate this. And I say all of that because at some point we're gonna have to have the conversation, and maybe that time is right now, that a lot of this leveling up, how to be classier, how to be elevated, how to be this, that, and the third, there's some anti-blackness rooted in that, okay? Because Pretty Little Thing has never been a BBL fashion brand. Yes, they have sold items that could fall under the BBL aesthetic, but all of the fast fashion brands that I was previously listing, all of them sell stuff that would be considered BBL-esque, tacky, too revealing. Like you can get too revealing at Zara, but you would never call Zara a BBL fashion brand. Now, while I was doing this scrolling, I saw some news source. I don't know if they're an actual like news source or just like a social media news source, but they made this post, right? And they said Pretty Little Thing was once the pinnacle of BBL fashion, which is bodycon dresses with strategic cutouts, corsets in vibrant colors and bold prints, and headline-making collabs with Kourtney Kardashian and Doja Cat. It was the go-to spot for a cheap and eye-catching party dress, perfect for a Saturday night at the club. All at fast fashion quality and prices. Now, Pretty Little Thing has revealed a strikingly different vision. I want you to look at the pictures. Look at the examples that they used to describe BBL, the pinnacle of BBL fashion, right? That's Drea Michelle, that is a Pretty Little Thing model, and then those two on the end are Doja Cat. Look at that white top and jeans that Doja Cat has on. You can't get that at H&M? You can't get that at Zara? Okay, look at that outfit that Drea has on. And now let's take out the fact that Drea has a BBL and looking at the actual outfit that Drea has on. You can get a top and skirt matching set like that at Zara. Might not be as colorful. However, I know for a fact I've tried on sets that have more, you know, colorful prints on them, stuff like that at Zara. And now look at the model that has the corset and the skirt. That is BBL fashion. And when you scroll over to the next slide, they show the revamp of Pretty Little Thing, which shows the models that they are using now and the new clothes that they are selling now, and talk about how they have revamped and now they are giving quiet luxury. Now look at the BBL fashion examples and then look at the examples of what is now quiet luxury. Y'all notice anything about what the models look like now on the Pretty Little Thing revamp? So all a brand has to do is remove any women of color models and curvaceous models, and now they're elevated. And y'all don't hear a problem with what you're saying, what you're agreeing with. Y'all are talking about modest, elevated, classy. I don't know, but that doesn't look too modest to me. A lot of these outfits don't look too modest to me, but Pretty Little Thing is still selling it now. Like I said, they're just using muted colors and models who are less curvy. And now, before any gaslighters come like it's just a coincidence, and no, that's not the correlations that are being made. I'll use myself as an example. Now, I ain't got no BBL, but God did bless me up top. Okay, so I'm finna give you some double D's. I can't take that off. Depending on what the outfit is and the way people be talking to me sometimes, I really think that they would prefer that I take them off for certain outfits. A couple years ago, I was going to Puerto Rico, right? And I had this set from Hanifa, okay? And I showed it being worn one way, and then I showed it another way, and I was like, hey, like, which way would you recommend that I wear it? So the one way is just the set, and it would be closed. That's how it's sold. And the other way is with it open, and there was a top underneath that had a like cowl neck neckline, and obviously it was gonna show a little boob, right? Now, common sense would say all I asked was A or B. Like, that's it. I wasn't asking for nothing else. When I tell you, I start getting comments that it's giving cheap, it's giving tacky, it's giving you're going to Puerto Rico to be a streetwalker. I got called a whore because of how much boob was showing in the outfit. This is what the outfit looks like. So somehow this made me look like a whore because of the top. And you know where that shirt is from? Opali. Y'all would never call Opali BBL fashion. This dress is also Opali, and it's got the excessive cutouts. You know, anything that shows a little titty is classless, it's trashy, but it's Opali. So Opali is selling clothes that y'all would deem BBL fashion, but you would never look at the site of Opali and say that it's a site that's selling BBL fashion. This is some of the other stuff you can get from Opali. But this one takes the cake, right? Because y'all has specifically said that type of poster girl dupe outfit, the wrestling outfits, the cutouts, all of that, that is BBL fashion. I didn't get that from Fashion Nova, from Shein, from Pretty Little Thing. I got that from White Fox Boutique. y'all would never call the White Fox Boutique BBL fashion, but they are literally selling stuff that y'all consider to be BBL fashion. This dress right here, I got that from Mercy. Now, what do the brands I just listed have in common? They don't have black models, and their models are more on the slimmer side, right? And now, not every black woman is shaped the same, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. But when we're going to actually be realistic, you know, the more so bigger boobs, bigger butts, curvier type thing is usually akin to the black community, right? So all it takes is brands not using black models. And even then, that is crazy, because even the black models that Pretty Little Thing were using, they were not the excessive type BBL, blah, 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 to the point where I'm like, I don't even know if those girls had BBLs. But all they had to do was take them away, and now it's elevated. Now it's classy. Baby, y'all not calling those brands BBL fashion. Y'all don't even be wanting to call those brands fast fashion. The amount of times I've seen brands like that included in videos where people are like, where can I shop that's not fast fashion? And then you list Opali, like, baby, that's not fast fashion. That's just fast fashion with a bigger price tag. That's just fast fashion that has used marketing that they know is going to make you look at them and separate them from the likes of Fashion Nova so that they can charge you more money. But it very much so is still fast fashion. And taking it even a step further to prove the point, y'all know those videos where they're trying to teach you how to level up, how to be classy, how to be feminine, this, that, and third. And so they're like, oh, do this, don't do that. Who do they use as examples of what not to do, right? I'm gonna go find the video, because I know all I gotta do is type it in. I'm gonna go find the videos. But what do they tell you to do in videos like that? They tell you, oh, less makeup, bun for your hair, ponytail, simple type hair, button down shirts, neutral colors, da 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 da. And when it gets to the point to show what not to do, baby hairs, printed clothing, showing boobs. And it's not just that is what they're deciding to tell you what not to do. The pictures that they are using to show you what not to do are specifically black women. And the pictures of showing what to do, specifically non-black women. Because you can find black women who go either way. Just like you can find non-black women who go either way, but they go out of their way to use black women when showing the examples of what not to do, and that is for a very specific reason. So a combination of all of that, the political climate that we're in right now, the economy, the thin is in being back in, the Ozempic. Oh, I forgot to mention, I have seen people saying that Pretty Little Thing went backwards when it comes to plus sizes. I can't confirm or deny that because I don't remember what their plus sizes were beforehand. I believe now, at least some of the newer items that they have on there, the biggest size is 16. I really don't remember what their biggest size was before the rebrand, but that's what people are saying, that they have gone back on how inclusive they are with their sizing, stuff like that. A combination of all of that, I am telling you, we are about to see. Y'all remember, like, back in the day, around that, like, baby fats, apple bottom jeans, that time, like, when it was offensive to be more than, you know, the America's Next Top Model, that era where it was expensive, where it was offensive to be bigger than like a size 4, all of that. We are about to go back to a time where anything that, again, is akin to like black culture, black people, anything that black people make trendy, that is popular amongst themselves, we're about to go back to a time where people consider all of that to be ghetto. People consider it to be ghetto, low class, they won't want to be a part of it. You're gonna see less and less cosplaying. All of that is going to come with this whole rise of quiet luxury and elevating and classy and feminine stuff like that, blah, 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 blah. And it's like, do we want that? I don't want the anti-blackness that's going to come with it, because they're not going to do it quietly. It's not going to, oh, you know, let me go ahead and remove the BBL. Let me take out the baby hairs. They're not going to do that quietly. They are going to start, and they've already done it, letting you know that, you know, having the baby hairs is ghetto. Doing this, that, the big lashes is ghetto. This type of hairstyle is ghetto. They're going to let you know. So no, not really here for the anti-blackness that's going to come with it. However, if that means I ain't gotta see no loose box braids no more, if that's what that means, you know, hey, a win is a win. So yeah, y'all, that is it for this video. Let me know what you think about Pretty Little Things rebrand and what you think of the coming climate when it comes to fashion. They're gonna do the same thing when it comes to makeup. They've already started. And let me know what you think of the hidden undertones in what people be, the messaging that people be using. Because it's one thing, like, if you just decided, hey, I'm older, you don't even have to be older. Like, I don't want to be in the clubs anymore. I don't want to do this anymore. It's the way people be talking about it. Once they wake up and decide that they don't want to do this, they don't want to live like that, they don't want to look like this anymore, that's when a problem comes into it, because it's usually deeply rooted in some ism, some obia, some type of that-ish is usually rooted in that. Because people who decide they just want to change something about themselves, that they literally just do it. That's it. So yeah, let me know what you think about that. Also, what I haven't seen a lot of people saying is that a lot of people feel like Pretty Little Thing was not good quality to begin with. So they were like, baby, I haven't shopped there for years. I don't care about, you know, you changing the font, this, that, and the third. Has the quality of the clothes changed? Let me know about that. Let me know if you care. If they have changed the quality of their clothing, would you go back to shopping there? Are you completely done with it? Let me know all of that down below. Make sure to thumbs up, comment, subscribe, turn on notification bells down below. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.